Hi, welcome to the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking with John Hamilton about blockchain and digital currencies investments. It might be a bit of a tongue tire, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be well worth watching. Welcome back to the show, John. Great to have you in the studio, my friend. You're about to launch a brand new program. I know it's aimed at financial investors or financial advisors predominantly.
Yeah.
But look, I've had a quick look and I'm going, this is going to be interesting for lots of people. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is you're launching?
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you, Michael. It's effectively what we've sought and found is a suite of videos put together by some of the best minds in blockchain and digital currencies at the moment. It's about 25 people have come together from all over the world to create a series of videos to help educate. One of the biggest problems in the market at the moment is the lack of clear, honest information from people who haven't got a vested interest in the information they're being provided. So what effectively we've done is we've managed to bring this course together. There is a certificate that's available at the end of it in terms of certificate of completion, questions and answers to help make sure people have understood what they've learned along the way. But the end result is effectively, we hope, and has proven to be the case through testing of the course on some of the people in the community, that it provides a clear understanding of what the blockchain is, what the blockchains in fact are, because there's lots of different blockchains that most people aren't aware of. Why it's good for business and why it's good for people, and how it's going to change things in the same way that probably the internet changed the world. Blockchain technology is going to do exactly the same.
I bet there's a few people out there, and especially my generation, going, geez, I wish I'd known more about the internet when it first came out.
Yeah.
And now we kind of, we're just one of the masses rather than being at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. So the difference between, I guess, success in an industry or any industry or another is information. If you just had the right information to make an informed decision, then the quality of decision being made is always going to be that much better. I myself, as you know, Michael, have looked after people from a finance perspective as a private banker and a premium banker. I'm a qualified financial advisor. I'm a finance broker. I've built a career in finance. That was a very successful career in terms of what I achieved for people was simply to bring information, the best information that I could find, bring it together, help the people that I'm working with to understand that information, and then leave them to make informed decisions. So I guess that's all I'm trying to repeat and do here.
There's one thing I will say, and that is the quality of the information. I mean, the quality is that good. This course actually qualifies. Am I correct? It's 10 of their professional development points?
Yep, so for financial services professionals, there's about 10 hours of videos that they can go through. That does give them 10 CPD points, continued professional development. We are looking and speaking to, because I'm a member of the Australian Institute of Company Directors as well, to roll it out through them, in which case it will then be DPD points.
Wow.
Same as that, CPD points.
I just want to make the point that it's not just a collection of videos. This thing has got substance to it.
Absolutely.
And quality to it.
Absolutely.
You know, for someone who's spent their life in finance, and I know there's a lot of misinformation out there because we've heard of Bitcoin, and one minute it's $29,000 a coin, then it's $12,000. There's just so much going on. And then you try to say to someone, what is blockchain? And they go, oh, it's a few blocks stacked on top of each other, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's brought a financial professional like yourself to go, this needs to be understood?
Okay. Basically, it's trust. There is a trust failure at the moment in the system. My responsibility as a banker was a duty of care and duty of responsibility to my clients and to my employer to make sure I always did the right thing by them. As we've seen at the moment, we've got the Royal Commission taking chunks out of the major banks.
Yeah.
The institutions at the very top of the trust ladder in Australia and other countries around the world taking advantage of misinformation or lack of information. People not knowing about certain things and therefore making bad decisions themselves or being led into making bad decisions.
How does the blockchain technology reinstitute trust into a system?
Well, it's like I guess the metaphor is, not metamor, that's my business.
Yeah, that's your but it's a good one.
The metaphor is, say for example, we were sitting here today and I was to give you $10. And then you were to say tomorrow, no, you didn't give me that $10. It would be my word against yours. Right. But what if there was 10 people in this room watching that transaction and writing down the transaction as it happened? Well, we've actually got 10 witnesses, therefore, that transaction took place. That's effectively a blockchain, a chain of witnesses, a chain of written, indelible, unbreakable series of information. Unbreakable is a bit of a strong word. Virtually unbreakable resources that say, hey, this transaction took place. But what happens if one of those 10 people, you paid them $5 to say that I didn't give you the $10? Well, the majority rules. So unless 6 out of the 10 people, 6 out of the 10 blocks, if you like, vote to say that I didn't give you that money, then it will be written into fact, into history forever, that I gave you that money.
So the strength is in the witnesses. When they say blockchain, that's where its strength is, because of the chain. You say that to me, and all of a sudden my mind span. Because before now, I'm thinking blockchain, Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Now I'm going blockchain. Hold on. The applications is far beyond digital currencies.
Yeah. The currencies is where it came from.
Yeah.
For example, I came from the UK. That's not where I am now. Thankfully, I'm here in Australia and talking to you. But currencies was the ignition, the catalyst, if you like, the thing that took place that excited people. It came from a time when we had lost faith in that we'd had in currency in general. It was just after the GFC that Bitcoin first came out. Bitcoin technology had been around for years and years, but no one took it forward. It was just the right timing, the need. However, blockchain therefore has the ability, because of that trust that it can imbue, and that it can't be diverted into the interest of the one. It's effectively managed by the many. That there's information that we will put into that system, and the people are putting into that blockchain system, they wouldn't put into a single institution.
So when you're saying that, I'm now thinking legal documents. I'm now thinking medical records.
Medical is the key. So one of the things that turns out to be true and is amazing to me is that 25% of all medicines that are prescribed are completely wasted. 25%. So that is a $1 trillion industry, of which 25% is a total waste of money and time. So that's 3 out of 4 people go to the doctor and they say, "Doctor, I'm not well," and the doctor says, "Here's some medicine," and they go, "That's great," and it sorts the problem out. For that one other person, it doesn't. And that could have been known if they'd read the DNA. If they had access to those people's DNA, we can tell in advance. Well, I'm not a genetic engineer, but it can be seen from someone's DNA what medicines will or will not be appropriate. It's the amount of money that you can save through that. And there's some very clever, very smart people out there who are medical experts that have been waiting and wanting to have access to that so they can help. The blockchain technology, because it's encrypted, because it's safe, because it can't be subverted or diverted into a single individual or institution's purposes, means effectively that as a community, as a people, we can actually solve more medical problems faster.
What do you think are the challenges? And we're hearing it, and especially from a layman's point of view, I'm going, well, this is exciting. But what do you think are some of the challenges to get it accepted? Is it getting acceptance, or is there still resistance, or what's going on?
Forgive my memory, it's not my best asset, but then one of the states on the eastern seaboard of Australia is using blockchain technology to administer its driving licenses now.
Wow.
Yeah. So the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the company or institution, the body that is in the absolute top of the financial tree, has written a paper that says within the next 3 years, blockchain technology will revolutionise the financial industry. 20% of all investments will be done by the blockchain, via blockchain technology in the next 3 years.
Is this saying, and I'll flick back out of medical into the financial advisors, because people are going to say, well, I want to get some investments going on here. Is this saying to that generation, because these guys have to learn a lot. They're continually having to learn stuff. If you want to stay current in this market, is it someone saying, hey, if you want to specialize in this market, how do you see that? Is it a general thing, or do you think someone's going to be specialized in this area?
So the majority of financial service professionals, because there are, as I understand it, as yet in Australia, there is in the US, no official courses that provide education in it. In fact, the majority of information that's being provided to financial services professionals, like myself, is based on incorrect information and is based deliberately on incorrect information, which seems so that the existing institutions, if you like, don't have their market share of the pie taken away. So you can't advise, as it stands at the moment, within the regulatory framework on blockchain or cryptocurrencies. So that doesn't mean you can't do it at all. It just means it's not regulated. It's not controlled.
It's a bit like I went to one of my financial advisors and he said, look, I'm not accredited in this area. However, this is a course I did. This is my knowledge. Take it. And he actually said, and here's a couple of points where you can actually look and discover some knowledge. So what he was really doing, he'd done a course like yours, say, for instance, and then he said, look, I can't advise in this area at the moment. It's really, but here's a course. Look, it's this, and this. I really think you could have a look at that, and then you can make some informed decisions for yourself.
Absolutely. So what we're looking to try and achieve is that we get this course out to, first and foremost, financial service professionals, accountants, finance brokers, insurance brokers, and financial planners, and say, look, guys, there's some information out there. It's pretty bad. Here's a top quality version of that, so you can inform yourselves. Then we're going to open it up to the next level, which is for those people that have done that, we're going to say, guys, please share this. Now, time, unfortunately, is money in the industry, so we'll need to remunerate the financial professionals themselves in terms of their time for doing so. We'll make sure they're taken care of from that point of view. Because the point of the exercise isn't about the remuneration, it's about the education. But yeah, it's a difficult time to be a financial service professional, I know, because people are expecting me to provide answers to a new technology in the finance industry, in investment, that they're not getting information about. So we just want to bring that correction down. Say, hey, here's the information, be informed, have educated conversations. If you have questions, we'll try and answer them. And if you have ideas, we'd love to hear them. Let's work and collaborate together.
John, in a world, as we know, when things are brand new and they first come onto the market, there is a lot of misinformation.
Absolutely.
How did you get your head around it? How did you manage to find the right people?
Okay. I'm a prolific networker. I love talking to people. I love educating myself. Anything that's new, I'm interested in straight away. So as this information started to filter out, as groups came about, people wanting to learn more information, I threw myself energetically and enthusiastically into learning more. I've always wanted to learn more. And you go through the process in this industry, and the same as every other industry, is you learn that there are people who are well informed and wish to share it. And sometimes there are people who are not so well informed, and they also wish to share that as well. And it's about trying to find and checking and testing, checks and balances, basically. I've been told this. Okay, let me go and find out if I get the same answer from somewhere else. Do I get the same answer? No, I don't. Okay. And just keep going through that process until you find, actually, like blockchain technology, if you get the same answer from a number of different sources, more than every other source, and you can check those answers, that's probably the right answer. And that's just the process of being in.
One thing I like about Metamore and what you're doing here, and I noticed your tagline was empowering you, is that your really belief system. Look, the more knowledge I can give you, really good quality knowledge and access to that knowledge, it can empower the individual to then make their own choices.
Absolutely. There's some really great new companies out there that are trying to make this technology as accessible as possible. We got it wrong with the internet. We didn't really make the most of it. It was a fantastic technology in terms of sharing information, and it got pretty much abused and turned into things that weren't all that great. here is the next level. Here is a time in human evolutionary history where people in the future will look back and say, what did you do with that technology? They will. And here is an opportunity for people to make some changes and be part of something that changes for the good in very small ways, very slowly over time, I'm sure, and later at greater pace, what the future looks like for ourselves and for our children.
John, we're talking about the course and high quality. I just want to give the viewers a bit of an insight into John as a person and your value system and your values in educating and empowering people. You've got some great entrepreneurial spirit and you've got some great ideas. Do you want to share any of your background of your empowering community?
Sure. Okay. Well, I'm helping to run a couple of different groups. There's a blockchain and cryptocurrency meetup group I'm the organizer for. Working with PwC on that. So again, trying to make sure that bad information is kept away, or at least as best as possible, we're providing good information into those communities.
PwC would be Price Waterhouse.
Sorry, yep. Absolutely. I myself have a registered innovation patent, and that's going to be taken forward by CSIRO. We're going to be working with them collaboratively to turn that into a full series of global patents.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing we're working on at the moment.
Yeah. I think someone's trying to call you, John.
Yes,
they got excited. They go, how do I get on the course?
Phone in. That's right.
But one of the things, and I know, and maybe you can't talk about it yet because it's so new, but you are a great advocate of supporting the underdog.
Yep.
And I know you may not be able to talk about them, that's fine, but you have got a couple of projects on the go where you're going, you know what, you're the underdog, you're getting beaten up, it's wrong.
Yeah.
And you're in there with a group of people going, we're going to fix this, we're going to put you in the advantageous spot.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, so watch this space because, we are actually going to be producing our own investment via blockchain technology for Western Australia, then Australia, and then globally.
Yeah.
I can't talk too much about that right at the moment, but probably within the next 12 to 18 weeks, we'll be going to the market openly and asking for people who want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But there is an industry out there that really does deserve to be disrupted. It's unfair. It's not good for anybody that's involved in it. It's making a lot of money. That just shouldn't be the case. So
and don't worry, we'll grab the exclusive when you launches. John, back onto blockchain. I just wanted to give people a snapshot because you do a lot for community in the background there. This program and what you're doing with blockchain, what are you hoping it will do for the average person?
Okay. So in terms of blockchain for the average person, it can drastically drive down the cost of day-to-day products and services. So if you can create for example, a supply chain. Let's talk about bananas as an example. If you know where bananas are being bought, you obviously know where they need to be shipped to. If you know where they need to be shipped to and in what volume, you can arrange for that. So you can automate that whole farmer to consumer supply chain in a trusted environment between any number of companies and intermediaries along the way, experts in their field. I once travelled on a plane to Perth with a guy whose business is to ripen bananas. If there's a business for ripening bananas, there must be a business for blockchain out there somewhere. And he was a wealthy guy as well.
Goodness sake.
But there we go. So there is, if we can drive down the cost of foods and services, that we make it easier to supply the basic needs for people, we can then help people move on to, I guess it's a big thing to say, but people will be able to help themselves move on to the more want-based from need-based stuff. Yeah. Enjoying family time, etc., etc. The occasional glass of wine is probably not too far away. And for anyone who's seen some of our other shows, there's some hemp products out there.
Yeah, some hemp products. You read mine. I saw your hemp show. You've got to check that one out. Cool. Yeah. So for the professionals who are going to do the course, and look, I'd highly recommend it. And look, at the end of the day, it's 10 CPD points, which is brilliant anyway. But what do you believe it's going to give them and their advantage? So
we've created an ecosystem of clients who need financial services professionals as part of our journey around this industry, around blockchain and digital currencies and digital investments. So as a reward, as a thank you, for those people who want to engage in it, we can actually provide them with more clients.
Wow.
So first and foremost, we need accountants who are familiar, not necessarily with the tax regime for blockchain and cryptocurrency, because it's very new, who just know what they're doing, and once they understand from our course, basically what the implications are and how the technology works, then we have thousands and thousands of people who need tax returns from people who have that information. So we can simply go, right, okay, thank you, now you understand it, let's plug you into the people that need you straight away.
What a great community you're building.
Well, that's the idea, right? I mean, it's just helping, and if you can find a way of helping people do what they do in a better way or with more information, then the people on the other side of that, the clients at the end of the day of the financial service professionals that we're reaching out to, will get a better information themselves. Yeah. So through the very key conduit that is financial services, we then can reach out to a much wider community of people to help them become educated and knowledgeable on the subjects as well.
Now, John, I don't know the course launched at the time of filming this actual interview with you, because we kept you on a bit of an exclusive. I know you're on the final, as everyone in business knows, I'm trying to launch it. But just in case, are we going to put a link under this video where they can come to and register as a page where they can register their interest and start gathering that? Absolutely.
We're going to do a registration of interest page first. The course is being currently loaded into put together into so basically the core system.
Yeah, the modules and that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So that's all ready to go within the next week or so. But in the meantime, what we want to do is gather up the details of those people that might be interested in it and taking the course, so that we can then let them know, first of all, when it's going to happen, which will be shortly. But also we'd like to speak to those people before they do the course to find out what their expectations are. Because we don't want to launch something without necessarily meeting all the expectations. So some early ambassadors of registration of interest will be spoken to and consulted with in terms of how we go and what do we do next? What does the next phase look like? What does the course look like for them? What would they like to see? So there'll be discounts and things as a thank you for people giving up their time. As I said before, time unfortunately is money, so we need to compensate people for that as well.
Absolutely. So that link will be underneath. You can click on that and go to the registration page. John, it's been fascinating talking with you. We'll get updates and we will get the exclusives. And hey, check out that hemp video as well. John Hamilton, Metamore, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Cheers.